So for this glitch art assignment, I'm going to open this image by a student in Camera Raw. Always open your images in Camera Raw. Make your adjustments, which she's already done. Any adjustments here, here, or here. And then open the image. I'm not going to make any changes because the student has already done those changes. This one is her final image. I need to go to File, Save As, and then change my format to TIFF. Click Save. I'm going to make sure that my image compression is none and it's per channel. By default it's interleaved, and you need to change it to per channel. It's going to ask if you really want to do that, and you're going to click OK. Click OK. There we go. Then I'm going to go to Audacity, and I'm going to import raw data. I'm not going to open a file, and I'm not going to import audio. I'm going to import raw data. And I'm going to find my TIFF and import it. It's going to come up with this dialog box, and it's going to ask you what the encoding should be. We're going to change this to ULAW. And the bit order is going to be big endian. Don't ask me what the difference is. And we're going to keep it at 1 channel. Click Import. And this file, which is an image of pixels, it's actually ones and zeros. Audacity will interpret that as ones and zeros, but it's going to display it as a WAV file. Now I need to mess up this WAV file, but I'm going to make sure that I don't mess around with the first part of the video, or the first part of the file, or the last part. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to simply click and drag a selection, and I'm going to cut it. And then I'm going to single click somewhere else and go Edit Paste, making sure that I've got the same amount of time, 20 minutes. If I hit play, that's what it sounds like. It's horrible. I'm going to do that cut and paste a couple of times. And just kind of randomly make a selection. And then paste it somewhere else. I'll do that about 3 times. And then I'm going to save this out. So I need to go to File, Export Audio, and it's typically going to go to either MP3 or WAV, but you want to make sure that you're going to Other Uncompressed Files. I also have to add the .tif, and I'm going to call this Edited. I also have to select the options, and the options, I'm going to change the header to RAW and the encoding to ULAW. There's lots of options in here, but you want RAW and ULAW. I'll click OK, and then I'm going to hit Save. I know it wants me to add the .raw, but I added TIFF, and I'm good with that. Click OK on the next dialog box. It's going to export out your image. And there it is right there. Now sometimes you can simply drag and drop your file into Photoshop and it will work. Sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, then you're going to have to go to Accessories and open up Microsoft Paint. I'm going to find that file. There it is right there, the edited TIFF. And I'm going to click Open. So there's my file. I need to save this out. So I'll go to Save As, but I'm not going to save it as a JPEG. I'm going to go Other Formats. I'll change this to TIFF and essentially overwrite what I have. And somehow Microsoft Paint gets rid of any errors in my image. And I'm able to just drag and drop into Photoshop and make any adjustments from here. Usually my adjustments consist of hue and saturation, and I'll bump up the saturation a bit. You can adjust the hue and see what happens to your image, but often it kind of goes a little bit too far. So you have to be careful. Another adjustment layer that I like to add here is curves. And I'll just make a slight S curve for the shadows and the highlights. There we go. I'm just going to delete this because I'm going to also show you what vibrance can do. So whatever adjustments you make them. And then in the end, you're going to go File, Save As, and you're going to save this out as a JPEG. If I were to save it as a JPEG in Microsoft Paint, it compresses it far too much. So I'll click Save. And typically, Photoshop will create a very large file if you're at 12. So anything under 10 is acceptable. Click OK. And then what I need you to do is go back to Audacity, and you're going to go Edit, Undo, or Control Z. And I want you to do Control Z until your waveform disappears, and then you're going to go to Edit, Redo, Import. This will bring that wave file back in, and you can continue to do cut and paste, or you can do something like Effect, Invert, something like maybe Invert, and it changes the look of the waveform. Sometimes this works great and sometimes it doesn't. So you may want to do a combination, or you may want to just try these different effects and see what happens, and then save it out again as a TIFF file. But I need you to have 3 iterations of a final glitch file, and then make your choice after that. Once you've done 3, you probably have an idea of which one is the best one.